we can go over it. I just released my video of the BenQ V7050i, which
what is
Michael,
that?
What is that?
Yeah, dude, what is that? Tell us all about it.
I loved your B-roll on that, man. It looks so good. Like,
Thank you.
The quality on that projector is pretty cool. Like, definitely, they've come a long ways, even over the past year or two that we've reviewed. Because you've had the Vava, I've had the Vava, several other ones.
I'm always excited when there's like innovation or an advancement, like significant, where you're like moving from the old Vava, because they have a new one, the Vava Chroma.
Right, correct.
To this, it's like, wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So what is it, Aaron? It's an ultra short throw projector.
Okay.
Those ones where like if you have you can't use a wall. It has to be a projector screen because it shoots up like from about 8.5 inches away,
really,
some 8.7 inches.
Probably like 45-degree angle that it hits the screen. So it's a special screen that actually the light, when it hits a screen, instead of bouncing up to your ceiling like this, it angles that light right to your eyes, and it rejects any ambient light.
So summary is it's a projector, except because they're using a laser light engine, because they're very bright, because the screen is a ambient light rejecting screen, special type of screen. Mm-hmm. It's the closest thing that you can get to a TV, but be 100 inches.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
Usually
kind of like
120, I think, is the max that they run now.
Mm-hmm. So it's getting real close to that level. Like, all right, well, the lights are all on, the windows are open, and I can still see this thing.
There's a couple things that to me make ultra short throws like a challenge. You've got this pretty big box that goes typically where you put your center channel, and so it's like, okay, where do I put my center channel? If you put the center channel under it, sometimes it makes that projector too high. So now you can mount your screen even higher. So there's that challenge. And the other big thing for me, because I like 2.35 and 2.4 to 1 or 2.40 to 1
aspect ratio.
Hey,
I got a home theater thing.
Hey, there you go. That's awesome. There's not a way with those to be able to switch that. So it's just always 16:9. So you'll always have the gray bars on top and bottom versus being able to be able to zoom in and save those presets. So those are a couple little challenges from that. And, setups a little bit kind of more finicky and challenging.
You said the center channel thing already?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest thing.
So do you guys seeing that being like the wave of the future, where people aren't using rear-mounted projections anymore?
So I think this is a fantastic option for those that are wanting to have a bigger screen in their living room that has a lot of ambient light, and they don't want to climb up in the attic. They don't want to have a pole in the middle of their living room. This definitely is more decor related. You know what I mean? It fits, and so I think it's a great option.
So what do you give up then? You got to give up something, right? So screen size probably one of them, but do you give up picture quality?
That's what Joe's saying. It's like, this thing is pretty dang good.
Sharp. So they're super sharp, good color volume, right? Meaning it's up to, they have a percentage of DCI-P3 or Rec 709, and there's a percentage, and it's up there. Like, if you were to watch this, especially with the lights off, somebody might think it's a TV.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right? But the downside, black levels aren't on the same level as an OLED TV, where it's just perfect black. No, it's not. It's not on that level. Nice. Not even on JVC level, right? So Michael has a great projector, but the lights have to be off, right? Is there no way that you could run lights on with your JVC, Michael?
No, not at all.
Really? That's interesting, because I was looking at JVC projectors recently.
So here's the thing with JVC, they're more concerned about color accuracy, contrast, and black levels. So that's like their focus. So when you start throwing in this massive light cannon and you're outputting 2,500 lumens, you sacrifice those other three. So they're like, we would rather have a dimmer output, less lumens, because typically ours are going to be in a controlled environment, light controlled environment, dedicated theater room, something like that, versus the ultra short throws are almost opposite. To me, if you've got a dedicated theater room, put in a regular projector.
Yeah, okay.
If you've got a living room set up or maybe a bedroom set up, I think these ultra short throws are a pretty cool option, and they're a lot cheaper. I mean, think about it.
Oh, okay.
What's the BenQ? I forgot.
$34.99. Not cheap. Not cheap.
So you got 3,400 versus 8,000. Okay, it's half the cost. You know, so
how much is a 100-inch TV? Like a TV? I think I saw $25,000.
Yeah. I mean, they're still way. Yeah,
I could never spend that much money on a TV that's that large because I think immediately, like in a year,
3 years, it'll be
it's
like
probably in half. That's just crazy. That's the people who buy stuff like that are the ones that are paying for the trickle down technology is what we call it in car audio. Like you always had like the highest end. Alpine used to have the F1 receivers. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but that was the highest of the highest end. It was like $3,000 just for a head unit, right? Mm-hmm. And then the idea was that 2 or 3 years later, maybe not even that long, that technology would triple down. Right. So we'll let the rich people pay for that stuff.
Yeah. You know, I think the sweet spot's probably going to be when they start to go down to like 2,000, 1,500. Now you're like, hold on a second. Should I get the TV or should I get this thing?
Yeah.
All right, because let me show you something. Chris Wyndham, thank you for the super chat. Ultra short throw or OLED 83 or 85 LED. So OLED, better black levels. Yeah. LED, probably super bright, right? But they have glare sometimes, and you got to hang that thing. Imagine dealing with that.
Yeah.
That thing is not going to be fun to put up. And then one thing people don't realize is like 83, 85 inch, right? Let me just show this
you don't
Chrome
comparison?
tab. Here's what people don't understand. It sounds similar in size, but it's not similar. So here's a 120 inch, and this is 85.
Yeah.
The thing, like, it's not the same.
You got to remember, it scales both horizontal and vertical.
Yeah.
You know, when you're thinking diagonal, it's like, okay, we're getting taller and wider at the same time. So yeah, it's a different experience. So Chris has a good question here. He says, how much is a screen? Some of these projectors are now bundling the screen with it, which is kind of cool.
I would say all in, you're probably going to likely spend like around $5,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So
still not cheap.
Yeah.
And it's still not at the point where it's like, oh yeah, for sure, just get this.
No brainer. I don't think it's at a no brainer part yet, but as Joe said, probably as, you know, technology advances, stuff gets cheaper, and so when it starts getting around 2,000, maybe 3,000 total with a screen, I think people are going to be like, hey, you know, is this a viable option?